You just a little kid in way over his head.
You want my king. You got to come get my king. I'm a dropper, man. I'm a go.
I'm saying niggas be thinking it's a game. This shit is for real. I've been taking care of myself for a long time.
I am still your mother, okay? And you are my child. And as long as you living under my roof, you gonna respect my house.
Oh, snap!
I'm getting tired. I think I'm gonna stop.
And they're all dead, bro. You got JFK, Bobby.
So what's the deal? It's your boy I meant what he said. You know what, man? You know what it is. Powers Industry, home of new music and entertainment. Unfortunately today I don't have my team with me. Reymo, fuck you, man. You left. You went to the fights. That's alright though. We still have the show keep rocking. Kathy can't be here. She's all flossing and flying. I heard she just got the black card. So right now I'm in the building with a phenomenal individual with great talent. Come straight from the Bronx. Give it up for my man Sean Nelson, man. What's going on, baby? How you doing, bro? So, for these people who don't know who you are, I don't know what they've been watching. You know, but let's talk about you. So you're from the Bronx.
I'm from the Bronx originally, born and raised.
Okay, you went to school in the Bronx and everything like that?
I mean, I went to a Lutheran school for the most part up till 8th grade. I'm from Co-op City, Section 2. But I went to Our Savior Lutheran, and then when I started acting, you know, I started when I was really young. So once I started booking stuff, it was like, okay, I can't really be moving around like I need to. I needed something a school that's going to let me work as well as get that education. So I went to the Performing Arts School in Midtown, and that's when I started going to school in Manhattan or whatever. But, you know, I needed that so I could work as a kid actor, you know what I'm saying?
So you've been so you started as a child actor?
Yeah, I mean, my first professional gig I did a lot of stuff even before that, but I started singing in kindergarten. And then my parents...
So wait, you got the record coming out now?
Nah, I mean, I should probably get back to the music, but people would say like, oh, you should do it,
So you can sing?
I can sing, yeah, man.
So hold on, because now you saying that, so that means I might just throw you in a booth.
Oh, nah, I'm not like, I haven't sang in a minute. But you know, I'll be playing around in the shower, you know, I'll be singing some things, you know what I'm saying?
Everybody sounds good in the shower.
Yeah, if I get the coach or whatever, just to make sure that I know my tones and all that is right. I think I can still do it, it's just I haven't really done it like gone hard in a while, so I don't, you know what I mean, I don't know where my voice is at. When I was singing back when I was a little kid, I was a soprano. I'm sure I ain't that no more, you know what I'm saying?
Voice
done changed a little bit, you know what I'm saying? I'm a little bit older, but yeah, started off singing, was in the church, had a little group, whatever, that we would sing with the church, and then my parents thought, you know, I should learn how to play the piano, and you know, just perform, you know, just how to perform and dance and whatever, you know what I'm saying? I started taking these classes. I took the acting classes, I took the dance classes, I took the piano classes, I took the singing classes, but I started leaning towards the acting a little bit more, you know, and I just started enjoying that. I did a lot of off-Broadway stuff, musical theater stuff, and after doing all that, I kind of got the opportunity to audition for a play, which wasn't a musical, that I was going to get paid for. Booked that when I was 10 years old. I was playing a young Jamaican drug dealer. Had a little Jamaican accent, you know.
So that was a play?
That was a play, yeah, 10 years old. It was off-Broadway, right over here at Playwrights Horizon on 42nd Street.
Oh, okay.
And that's kind of what gave me the taste for the acting thing. Like, oh, you know, this is kind of fun, and I can get paid doing this. Like, I would kind of focus on this a little bit more. You know, when I was doing all the musical theater stuff, I wasn't getting paid for that, but it was building me up to where I am now. You know, so did that, but then I wanted to be on TV. So, you know, I'm auditioning. I got an agent, you know, same agent that I'm with now, Frontier Booking International. Okay. And, you know, he submitted me for all these TV shows, these commercials. I couldn't book a commercial for my life.
Did you try on your own, or you?
Nah, I never really tried on my own to like go out for the legit stuff. It was more so, you know, on my own I was able to get, once I got the acting class, she kind of like introduced me to this other group called Tada, which did a lot of these musical theater plays that I did. They deal with a lot of youth that do, and they do musical theater plays that they put on every year or whatever. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how I started. I didn't really like try to audition for film or television before I had representation.
Okay.
But when I was with my agent, it was like a good year or so that I wasn't booking nothing. You know what I'm saying? Any TV shows, any movies, or commercials. Commercials were the worst. Like I don't know if I kind of grasped how you had to act for commercials, and there was also that transition from theater to film or television. There's a difference. Like you're not so big. Everything is big in theater, whereas you got to kind of tone it down when the camera's on. So, I was able.
How many takes would you say it normally took you to get, like, how they go, oh, we gotta do it again, we gotta do it again?
Once I started acting on camera, I was nice, man. I take one take. They used to call me one take Nelson, bro. Nah, I mean, certain scenes would be a little bit harder than others, but for the most part, like I said, I would knock it out.
You would nail it on the first.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because it was just what it was. When you had your rehearsals and everything and you knew what they wanted, it was easy to capture that. But, yeah, I don't know what year it was, but the first time I was on TV was a TV show called Here and Now. That was like Malcolm Jamal Warner's. Like, it wasn't really a part of the Cosby Show, but it was kind of his show. The guy Theo from the Cosby Show, you know what I mean? So I did an episode of that where I was playing this kid who was like a star basketball player, but his father didn't want him to play ball because how it affected him and his life. So he's like, he doesn't want that for his son. And I'm kind of sneaking around behind his back trying to play ball and all that. But that was my first taste of television, and it was like, yo, this is kind of dope. We shot that at what was that? It's not Steinway. Is it Steinway? The one in Queens, the studio in Queens. I think it might be Steinway. But it was like I just want more TV stuff. That was cool. And that was actually shot in front of a live studio audience too, and it was kind of like sitcom or whatever. But the big break for me was my film Fresh, which I booked when I was 13 years old.
Yeah, I remember that movie. I was like, yo.
That was the big break. I
don't know how they wrote that character. That was crazy how you played. You just played everybody against each other.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was going to do at the time. I just was excited to be a part of a movie. Like, oh, let's go.
What happened to the Spanish kid that was in there?
I don't know.
Everybody asked you
I'm like, yo, where's Chucky, man? I don't know.
He was the stupid dope move.
I remember that on social media and all that. I can't locate him. I found the other dude.
Chucky, we looking for you, man. We trying to find you, man. You had the stupid dope move.
There was two other guys that were in the film too. There was like four of us.
Yeah, it was like a clique. But I'm gonna be honest with you. Aside from yourself, the Spanish kid, I think,
he stood out
the most. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was a big character. Like, he was just like boisterous and like you couldn't stop watching this dude bug out. Yeah. So
that was definitely a dope movie. How did you prepare for that movie as a young? Because that was like your first big break. You had already had some kind of seasoning, but like what was it? You got the role. How did you prepare for that role?
I think it was just kind of the training too. We had time to rehearse, and I did actually have an acting coach with me on set, just in case to keep me in line with what we needed to do. But that was really it. I just kind of tried to make it real for me in each situation. Like, what would, if I was really put in this situation, how would I react and how? Just make it real, and that's kind of what I was in my mindset that whole time, to try to make it happen. And the only thing that I thought was difficult, and when it was coming up, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to pull it off, was the crying scene, like in the end. Like, I got to cry. I'm like, I'm just going to start crying. I never had to do that before. But,
so when the time came, doing a little onion or?
Nah. It was actually like, it was just, it took 2 takes. First take, I couldn't do it. Sam Jackson was trying to help me out, but it just wasn't working.
Ah, that's right, Samuel Jackson was in
it. Yeah, he played my father. And, the second take, I just took my time, breathed, just thought about some stuff, and it just came.
What was it like working with him?
It was, he wasn't the Sam Jackson he is now, but I still knew him from the different projects that I'd seen him in. It was just like, we only did probably like a week together. We didn't have that many scenes, so they kind of shot all his stuff out. But it was cool. Like, he was a cool dude, man. It's just cool to work with people that you've seen growing up, and then it's like, oh,
that's what's up.
We're doing scenes together. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, because he started when he was, I think, like 40 or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was
him.
Pretty older.
And I did get to meet with Giancarlo Esposito beforehand. and it was cool working with him also. Who else was in there? I mean, there was a few guys that kind of had a little bit of a name after as well. After the movie came out, they did some other things, the Boucher, right? But you know, those two, Giancarlo and Sam Jackson, were kind of the big dogs at the time, you know, to me.
Yeah, who else? Jean-Claude, is he he played
Esteban.
Esteban, yeah. Wow, he's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah. You know, Breaking Bad.
So you did like American Buffalo, you did Stranger, and the King. So before we talk about the big movie that you did, that was another. I mean, you figured you did the Corner.
Yeah. But
what was that
the
like?
Order, that was after the movie you're talking about. I did the Corner after that film, and you know, I mean, in between those times, in between Fresh and the Corner. You know, I did these indie movies that, you know, didn't really get that big of a buzz. American Buffalo I did with Dustin Hoffman and Dennis Franz, which are big actors, but it just didn't get that publicity.
It didn't
you
get
know what I'm
that
saying?
love.
It was like kind of one of those indie cult joints. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, it made the rounds with all the TV shows, New York Undercover, the Law and Orders, and, you know, the homicides, and, you know, just kind of try to stay busy in that sense. But then when the Corner came around, you know, that kind of was another classic for me.
How old were you when you did the Corner?
The Corner, I was 19. I was 19 when I booked the Corner, and I was actually
So you
in
had
college.
already
Yeah.
What school did you go to?
I went to Temple University out of Philly.
Oh,
Film and Media Arts class. You know what I'm saying?
So I know you were scoring heavy out there.
I mean,
You were scoring heavy out there. Listen, I'm a Sigma, so I know you were scoring heavy out there.
Nah. I mean, it was cool. I had a good time with Philly, but I was ready to come back home. I did my years at Temple. Was like, yeah, okay, I'm out.
So you're on Temple campus. You're acting. Did the show had already dropped? Did the Corner had already dropped, or you were filming?
No, I actually did a year, and then I booked the Corner, and then I took a year off.
Also, when you were in the Corner, nobody saw you. When you was so people knew you were in movies.
Well, that movie that you were referring to was just coming out my first year, freshman year of college.
Okay.
So with the movie The Wood, you know, that was
the Wood was out when you was on that campus.
Freshman year. It's like, oh, the Devil in the Wood, let's go. But that's kind of the same thing that happened.
Did you live on campus?
I did. I stayed on campus. They had me in like the wackest dorms though. It was like, yo, why?
I know you was feeling like, yo, you know who I am?
But it's funny, they put me in the dorms that I guess like all the football players. And so some of the people, like the lunch lady, she didn't know who I was. She was like, what, you play football or something? And I'm like, nah, yo. Do I look like I play football? It was
crazy.
Hilarious, man. But you know, it was good. And then sometimes, because I'm not the most like I don't go there promoting what I do or who I am.
Well, see,
I just try to keep
that's
it low.
interesting. Because to be honest with you, you really don't have to promote who you are.
Yeah.
And we've had conversations. You know, for those who don't know, I know Sean for a little bit, and we talked about this. It's not a lot of actors that like people know you when they see you. They're like, yo, that's the dude from The Wood. I don't never hear no friends. It's always The Wood.
I mean,
And I think that everybody grabs their favorite part
exactly,
too, right?
Exactly. I
They
mean, those are the top three: The Wood, Fresh, and The Corner. I've still got people that don't know the other two, but they'll be like, "Yo, that's Fresh." They're like, "Fresh."
How much time did you spend with Omar?
With Omar?
Movie, yeah.
Well, since we were playing the same people, we didn't really have any scenes together. But you know,
But I'm
we did
pretty
meet
sure he
up
had
before.
there wasn't any guidance that came from him. Did you?
Not really. We just had lunch one time, you know, beforehand, just to be like, okay, we're playing the same guy. That's cool. We can talk a little bit, but that was about it. We didn't really discuss how we're gonna go about this character. It was like we shot our stuff first, and maybe they got to look at it, and he kind of just played off of that. You know what I'm saying? And made him a little bit more mature. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it was like, you know, we just met up one time beforehand, and that was it.
Let me ask you a question. What was the most bootleg project you ever worked on?
Most bootleg. I don't know about it.
Come on, it has to be one. Every actor has that. Every actor has that bootleg project.
Like, yo, I'm not gonna put anybody out there like
you're like,
that,
yo.
He said the most bootleg project.
You just like, yo, what am I doing here? Where's my career going? Nigga, I was in The Wood.
Oh, man. I mean, you know, know. I mean, I can't say like what's the most bootleg project. That's kind of messed up.
All right, I had to ask. I had to take a shot. You know what I mean? Would you ever consider playing a superhero?
I would. I would love to play a superhero, and that's kind of one of the things.
What would your superhero look like if you played a superhero?
Well, I mean, he looked like me.
But no, I mean like what kind of powers? Like
Okay,
if they said create a superhero,
I
so we
would
can make a
want my
movie around you.
superhero to kind of. I love the idea of like telepathy and telekinesis. Like that would be like what I would want my superhero to have, and you know, just kind of ill backstory, and with a modern twist. Like maybe he's. I don't know. You know, I don't know where the story would go, but those are the powers I want him to have. You know what I'm saying? And I would want him to kind of be tormented. One of those heroes that could go completely bad, but he's like fighting to
stay.
Yeah, to stay on the right track, something like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, when you have power like that, I think it would be easy to just be like, I'm gonna do the wrong thing. Like, let me just take advantage of this. But you know, trying to stay on the right path and do the right thing.
So so we definitely talked about the singing career. We knew that. you know that kind of.
That's gonna come later.
But I did want to ask you, in the corner, Charles S. Dustin, what was it like being with? Because that was it was like he was interviewing people. He was like what like how was it like working with him? Rock. That's how I remember him as Rock.
Yeah, that's how I knew him as Rock. You know, and then I heard all the other stuff about, you know, his past and him doing time and all that. It was like, okay, what kind of dude is this for real? You know what I mean? But he was cool, man. Like, just working with on set, we kind of just drilled everything down, how we wanted everything. And it wasn't really any issues. But we were shooting in the hood. And I think a lot of reasons we didn't have any problems because The Rock was, you know what I'm saying? Like, Charles Dutton is from out there, I believe.
Yeah, Baltimore.
We got a lot of love,
He's
you know what I'm
Baltimore.
saying? Like, we got a lot of respect, and, you know, we didn't have any issues as we shot our 6 episodes in the hood. But, you know, it was great. Like, I mean, it was one of those projects that we shot almost documentary style. Well, it was documentary style, but those were actors being interviewed as the real people. You know what I'm saying? Like we were all portraying these real people.
These real people from the community. That's what made that so dope. It was like the characters y'all were playing were actual people there.
Yeah. And I mean, I had met the guy a few times, but I didn't really get to build with him too much to kind of like, I'm gonna try to be just like you or whatever. But you know, it was tough dealing with those kind of stories in this life that they had lived. You know, and kind of making sure you do justice to their story. You know what I'm saying? But I think we did a good job with it, man, in the end. And
you did a phenomenal job. And I think that the only reason, I mean, because it evolved into The Wire. I think that The Wire looked at that show and they said, well, let's tweak and make another show.
Same creators.
You know what I mean? Same creators. So I think that they flipped it. You know?
Yeah, they kind of just added the wiretaps and everything.
The thing I liked about The Wire and The Corner was, even though it was Baltimore, it was two different aspects of the game. I felt like The Corner was that, because everybody that talk about selling drugs and doing all this make it seem like they made all this money, and the reality is sometimes you just not making, you bottling up, you taking $200-300, flipping that, hoping you're gonna make another $800, you spending it on sneakers, gear, you making sure you got food to eat, and that's the life.
Yep.
You know, everybody ain't running around like a Barksdale with limos and cars and so I just think, but there is that aspect of the game where that does happen, and I think that The Corner embraced the kind of, this is the dudes that's out here hustling, making nickel and dime, and you know, and they were showing more to people that were addicted to the drugs, the program. I think The Wire focused more on the cast that you saw certain struggles with people, but it was like more of the high life, like these dudes just living, you know what I mean? And I think that they were trying to look at New York and say, how do we flip it like a New Jack City, but keep it grounded? You know, that's what I thought about The Wire. That's why I love both shows. And you know, some people say, oh, it was like the same. It wasn't the same thing. It was two different aspects of the game.
Because the Corner was basically about this one family and how drugs affected their lives and basically destroyed all 3 of them's lives. You know what I'm saying? They all became addicted. And you know, it's
that was crazy.
People
you started sniffing, right?
Yeah, in the end. Yeah. And in real life, the character died a few years ago. Wow. You know what I'm saying? That I was playing. So he was clean at the time, but you know, sometimes these things come back, man. It's crazy. It's crazy.
So you've been nominated for some awards, right? How do you feel about those awards you were nominated for?
Man, I mean, it's always great to be.
Tell us some of the awards you were nominated for.
Well, for Fresh, I got the Sundance Special Jury Award for, I guess it was Best Debut Performance. And then I also won the Spirit Award for, that's like the Independent Film Awards for, I guess the same thing. You know what I'm saying? But like, it was just basically, you know, my performance in Fresh that got me those awards. And now I'm like, I want those big ones. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love that. I love that I got those, but that's just preparing me for the next level. Gotcha. I'm just working to get there. You know,
transitioning from an adult, a child, because I think you did. You transitioned from being a child actor to an adult actor. What was that struggle like? Because there had to be some sort of struggle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a little difficult in the sense that people still remember you as this kid, you know, and then since I had these projects that are somewhat iconic, you know, people just kind of, it's embedded in their brain that, oh, you're Fresh, you're Big Mike from the Wood, or you're DeAndre from the Corner. And even when I go into these meetings and these interviews for these auditions, and it's like, oh, well, you still kind of come off as this to me, or you still look like this to me, but it's like, yo, I'm a grown man, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's no more, I'm no longer that kid that you see every so often on TV, because they kind of still play it. I'm a man now. You gotta let me do my thing as an actor to show you that I'm a man and I can play this role. But, you know, some people are just kind of caught up in that idea, like, oh, I still believe you're that kid, so, you know what I'm saying? I don't see you as this part. So now it's up to me to prove and create my own stuff to show that I'm a man now. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I've been doing things, you know, trying to stay busy, and I've had my roles, but I just need that next joint that's gonna be as good as The Corner, The Fresh, and The Wood, you know what I'm saying? But as an adult.
And that's what I think that's what I've noticed. Like, I feel like big people got to give you this shot. Like, I don't understand. Like, I'll be honest with you. I thought you were going to wind up on Power. Like, you'd be great on Power, and I don't understand. 50, Courtney, he'd be great on Power. Like, you put in all these dudes, and I'm not saying nothing against, because I've interviewed a lot of the actors for Power and stuff like that. I know they're great, but you have this quality, and I don't understand why they're not looking in your direction. You know, you gotta talk to your agent, man, to call up, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, man. Genius, man. So let me ask you. I heard you went to Miami and chilled with the real Noriega. Is that true?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was out there for the.
What was that like?
What is it called? The Black Film Festival they have out there every year, and we just ended up at the W, and Nori was there, and it was just cool. We just kind of clicked, was hanging out. A lot of drinks. We hit the poolside, a lot of drinking going on. It's just, you know, bugging out. He's playing football in the pool, throwing the ball around, whatever. But it was cool. He's a cool dude, man. And I mean, just kind of build and talking about like what he's trying to create and where he's trying to go with different projects. Because, you know, it's going to be more than just the drink champs and all that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, he was just talking about a lot of that, man. And I'm like, okay, so what can we do together?
So you get stopped a lot, right?
Yeah, pretty often, man, pretty often. But you know what happens too is sometimes people don't realize what it is. They're just like, I know you. Do I look familiar to you? I'm like, nah, I don't know you, bro. You do not look familiar to me. You know what I'm saying? And then people, sometimes I'll tell them it like, oh, well, I'm an actor, and it's like, nah, that's not it, yo.
They talking about your singing career.
Yeah, exactly.
They talking about your singing career, man.
That's what it is. They remember that voice, man.
They like, yo, you the dude right there. What advice would you have for children actors?
I mean, definitely for
trying to transition to.
Oh, trying to transition. I mean, just kind of. You gotta also be able to change with the times and reinvent yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, over time, things change. The game isn't the same as when I was a kid.
That
you know
is
what
correct.
I'm saying? So you kind of just gotta roll with the punches and just, you know, kind of mature with the career and your technique. You know what I'm saying? When you approach things and prove it each time. You know what I'm saying? Go in there as the person that you're trying to portray, and they'll believe it.
So talking about the maturity level, you have a family.
Yes, I do. Yes.
So, do your kids understand like your career? Like, do they get like why people stop you?
Nah, I don't think so.
How old are your kids? If you don't,
they're 7 years old, twin girls.
So you got twins.
Yeah, twin girls,
okay.
bro. I don't know.
So
what
they don't come to you like, Daddy, none of that.
I mean, they see it, and it's like
they've seen you in
but
the
I don't
movies.
think they understand. They still don't understand exactly what I try to explain. Like, Daddy's an actor, you know. That's why I'm on TV sometimes, and like people stop me in the street, and but I don't think it's really clicked exactly that this is the job, you know. Like that's what I have to do to make money or whatever, you know. They're just like, oh, yeah, he's on TV sometimes or whatever, and I guess people, but I think they might think that these people actually know me sometimes when I'm walking in the street. That it's not from, oh, they saw me on TV too.
Gotcha.
That's why, you know. But, you know, soon they get older and they're maturing, so they'll figure it out.
So, do you feel your film career in any way has hurt you family-wise or affected you family-wise and created issues for you because you have been acting?
No.
Like, some people can't tolerate industry stuff, like, you know.
Well, yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean? Like, is it like you're arguing, you're like, yo, listen, I'll just go do this.
Well, I mean, I think there's going to always be those aspects when you're dealing with somebody that's not in the industry where they don't understand exactly what you have to do. And why you have to be out sometimes, or why you have these long hours, you know, why people are all up in your face and you don't know them. I've had, you know, a female I was dealing with, I'm walking in the store and this other woman is looking at me and she smiles, I smile back, I'm like, what you smiling at her for? Like, yo, hold up, I'm just being nice, you know, she's probably a fan, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like I'm flirting. It's just, you know, you gotta be cordial to your fans. You can't be, because I've had the people that are like, oh, he thinks he's all that. He can't say hi back or whatever.
And then again, you don't know who's who.
Relax.
She could be a director's daughter.
Exactly.
Or
You
wife.
never know.
And you
never know. So I definitely
he's like, don't pick him.
Everybody.
Because he's like, and you don't even know you lost all that.
He ain't nobody.
So I have two quick things. You're an avid fan of hip hop, right? Are you?
Pretty big fan of hip hop. I mean, right now,
who's the wackest rapper to you?
What? I'm not calling people out, bro.
Who's the wackest rapper?
You can't be putting people out there like that.
Come on, man. Who's
Wackest
the wackest rapper? The wackest rapper to you? Whoever. You ever like, oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just looking at this one video the other day. It was like, I like the beat, but I don't know if this dude's serious or not, and I don't even remember his name. He's like some Asian dude. And
China Mac?
Nah. I don't think his name is China Mac, but I think he might be in LA or something. But the beat was hard. And I like my daughter was watching something they were playing, and I was like, wait, what is that? You know? And I looked up the video, you know what I mean? But I was like, this guy's a cornball. Like, he's like trying to talk, it was like pull up with a stick and do something. I forget what he said.
Pull up with a stick.
Yeah. I was like, yo, what is this dude talking? He had like a fanny pack on in the video. I'm like, nah, that's not what it is, bro. That's not what it is. But I feel like a lot has changed since I was growing up. Like a lot of these rappers just don't look the part to me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm an old man now, so I don't know.
From a time of you want to hear lyrics.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, some of these dudes ain't really saying nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, okay, just mumbling on a hot beat, you know? And sometimes I guess that's enough, bro.
Was there ever a time in your career, and I know you gotta go, but has there ever been a time in your career where you felt like, I don't want to do this no more? Like, I'm just done with this whole acting.
Nah.
No.
Never not wanted to act, bro. I always wanted to act. Like, that's the main thing. And I mean, I went to film school, and I want to get behind the scenes. I want to start producing more, directing, and, you know, just kind of creating my own stuff and creating avenues for myself and other people. But the acting thing is going to always be in me. I'm going to always be an actor. That's the main thing. So there was never a time where I was like, I don't want to do this no more. And a lot of cats that I came up with have had that happen where they just don't want to do it anymore. Yeah, and it's like it's like I'm like, what happened to this dude? They just doing something else. You know what I mean? Went on, changed their mind. The game's too hard. Because I mean, it's not gonna always be good. Like things aren't gonna always be great. You do one project doesn't mean you set for life, bro. Mm-hmm. You gotta keep going. There's always gonna be a grind. There can be those times where you do something great and then nothing happens for like a few years. You know what I'm saying?
I always hear from a lot of actors, there's always a lot of no's.
Yeah, you're gonna hear a whole bunch of no's, bro. But you know, once you get to that point, you know what I mean, that you know it starts rolling a little bit more, then I guess it gets a little bit easy. But you know, I think it could go either way for anybody, man. Just stick with it. If you love it, it's gonna work out, I think. But some people just need to be like, okay, just stop. It ain't gonna work.
This ain't for you.
This ain't for you.
Oh, if you don't want to be mean to nobody,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I ain't gonna tell them. They need to realize that themselves.
So what can we expect from Sean Nelson in the year 2018 and 2019? We're borderline right now. 2018.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, are there any projects that are coming out right now that we should be looking for?
Well, I mean, I'm just doing a lot of like guest starring and stuff. I'm about to shoot an episode of this show called New Amsterdam for NBC.
Okay.
I'm gonna be in one episode for that, and I'm also, like I said, just trying to create my own stuff, man. So, you know, I'm working on a film that I'm working with a writer. He's writing it. Once that's done, we're gonna get the production together and I want that to be an action film. I want it to be an action drama. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I got him writing that for me. And also like some series stuff, and I don't know if it's gonna be like a web series just so I can get it out there quicker, or something that I'm gonna really just kind of cultivate until I can take it to a network. You know what I'm saying? So, but you know, I've got writers that I work with. I'm not really writing myself, and I got a couple writers that I believe in and believe in their talent. And you know, we just got to build that team, man. That's what it's all about, too. You know, like I said, I've done some things that, you know, I had a team, but it just didn't work out the way I wanted. So it's kind of like bringing those right pieces so I can get that right product out there. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So we'll see. But this thing's coming. Sean Nelson's coming soon, bro.
Hey, and it's not from the woods.
Not from fresh, not from the corner.
So tell the people how they can get onto your social medias and stuff like that.
All right, well, you know, I'm Facebook, Sean Nelson, SeanNelson, if you're still on Facebook. But, you know,
Instagram?
I guess Instagram. Yes, Instagram is where it's at, and it's the same thing. Sean Nelson, SeanNelson. One word, I guess. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I put a space in between. So Sean Nelson, SeanNelson. And you can find me there. Follow me. You know what I mean? I might not follow back, but I'll hopefully you'll just follow and be entertained and keep up with what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? And just support. I'd appreciate that.
Well, I want to thank you for coming out, man, and
I appreciate you,
successful
man.
journey,
Thanks for
man.
having me, man.
All right, brother. Be well.